providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Caregiver Crossing. Thanks for being here. We are grateful for you. We're truly grateful for you. I'm Terry Stacy, by the way, and you are?
I'm Noah Taylor.
And Tina's not here.
She's not here today.
Tina's not here today, and that's okay, but we're thinking about her, and I know she's listening. So, Tina Bina, we're thinking about you. Hope Thanksgiving has been wonderful. All right. Okay. So listen, if this is your first time joining us, Caregiver Crossing, it's a show brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. And we're right here with you each and every week, talking all things caregiving.
All things caregiving.
All things caregiving. So how are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm a little sad that it's getting super cold outside, but I am so happy that the sun is shining today.
Yeah. We've had such a fantastic fall here in central Indiana, all of Indiana, really. And our neighboring states have had just a beautiful, beautiful fall. Warmer temperatures have been awesome. Cooler nights, obviously, but I think we're done.
Knock on wood.
I
Yeah.
think we're done. I think it's time to head into
are.
the real fall.
Time for some snow.
Which is a little snow shower here and there isn't so bad because everybody's really in the holiday spirit early, even kind of bypassing Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
People are right into Christmas.
I saw some people putting up Christmas lights before even Halloween.
What do you think about that?
You know, I think a lot of people don't like it, but I love Christmas, so I'll never be mad about people being festive.
No, I'm not going to be mad at you either. There are some that have a tree in their house all year round, and that is okay because it's a great feeling. But I kind of like this idea of getting it up now and keeping it up just through this season because it makes it kind of more special for us.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
I'm always like put it up like the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like when you're spending time with your family.
It's really cool.
That's what I think.
Do you, and I know we've got things we're going to talk about, but it is Thanksgiving week. And so let's talk a little bit about gratitude. And I just want to say, there is gratitude in everything. There really is gratitude. Somebody was telling me the other day that they had battled cancer and won. And they were grateful to have that diagnosis because it changed their world and maybe needed to and opened their eyes a little bit and also brought them back to a ground level where what are you really grateful for?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so there really is gratitude you can find in everything. I know it's so hard. Caregivers, I know it's hard. I read what you write among you in your Facebook groups, which have been great for everybody. So many that have found that to be a friend. And I love that for you. But I know it's hard sometimes. But if you're living and walking, you're right there's number one. Write it down.
Yeah.
Somebody I know has a gratitude pumpkin that they put in the centerpiece of their table. And the pumpkin is a real pumpkin. And throughout, before the dinner is served, everybody writes on the pumpkin what they're grateful for.
That's such a good idea.
And it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a centerpiece, and then it's something kind of to talk about as well. But, everybody does it a little bit different. But for you, maybe a tradition that you're grateful for when it comes to Thanksgiving?
Oh, actually, that is, well, not to get sad, but...
No, it's okay.
It's going to be it's going to be our first Thanksgiving without my grandpa, who just passed away. And we usually went up to South Bend to celebrate Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful for that. And and my grandma would always let me come, regardless of if my grandpa's there or not. But I'm excited to start new traditions.
I know.
With my family.
I know. And we're right there with you, Noah. And there's a lot of right there with you. My dad died the day after Thanksgiving last year. And so, it will be our first Thanksgiving without him. And of course, it is, as you said it beautifully. You look for new traditions.
Yeah.
And never forgetting and grateful for the time you had with them.
Exactly. Thankful for the Thanksgivings I got to spend with my loved ones.
I know it.
And the new ones that I'm spending with my new loved ones.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, happy Thanksgiving to all of you, and to you, Noah, and to Tina that is listening. We are so grateful to have each other and this show, and we're grateful for you too. All right. So this is Caregiver Crossing, and I'm Terry Stacy, along with Noah Taylor, who produces the show. You want to talk a little bit about, well, we feast till we're about to burst, and then take home a lot of goodies for the next day. There are a lot. There still is a hunger issue in our communities that continues to grow.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who are hungry on Thanksgiving. So I think that's why it's really important to talk about. The week before Thanksgiving is actually Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, which focuses on giving and caring for the people the week before Thanksgiving. This observance serves as a reminder that hunger and homelessness don't stop for the holidays. They're really around year round. Many Americans live paycheck to paycheck too, and the struggle to keep these basic needs fulfilled is really a daily obstacle. Many of us are almost one mistake away from homelessness.
That's what we know.
Who are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
43 million Americans live below the poverty line, and even 1 in 5 of those are children living in poverty.
And seniors.
Yeah.
There are so many seniors that are hungry, and so many seniors that are homeless, and so many veterans that are homeless and hungry as well, and should never be. But there are those seniors that they may have to make a choice between medicines and a bologna sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition is so important, especially as we get older, and they're not getting the nutrition that they need. And so a lot of you already know that, as caregivers, you do.
You know the hardships.
Yep, you sure do.
This started in 1975. Villanova University hosted the first Hunger and Homelessness Week. And since then, universities, colleges, high schools, and even many other organizations across the country host events in their community to increase awareness during this week. And some of the most important things to do, volunteer, donate with these organizations, and make sure that you're educating your loved ones too.
Yeah, absolutely. There are organizations that are easy to find, especially here in Central Indiana. You know the names, the Gleaners, and all of those churches and pantries that have really made it their mission to continue to feed the hungry. And, I'll tell you, it's really interesting because during COVID, and I know we got to go, but I was working in some of the food drives, and the face of somebody that's hungry in a family might not be what you think it is. It's all of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of us.
It looks like everybody.
It looks like everybody.
Yeah.
Looks like everybody. All right, we've got to run. Tell everybody what's coming up.
What's coming up right next? Oh, we got a really, really good show in store for everybody. We've got Lifewithgrams on TikTok. They're just absolutely incredible.
I can't wait to learn more about this.
Yes,
this is so fun.
Some really great segments coming up for you. So stay here.
You betcha. It's Caregiver Crossing.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus, Joyce House provides exceptional day services for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joyce House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joycehouse.org today. All right, everybody stick around. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. I'm Terry Stacy. Tina McIntosh is out today, but producer Noah is, and we've got a fantastic guest. I'm so excited for you to meet. Noah, you do the introduction.
Oh, I'm so excited too, Terry. Today we're going to welcome Chris, the thoughtful and inspiring caregiver behind the TikTok account Lifewithgrams.
So cool.
Through her authentic and
Hi,
heartfelt...
everyone.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're totally okay. I just wanted to say more nice things about you.
Yeah, well, listen, please continue with the nice things, Noah.
Through her authentic and heartfelt videos, Chris has been sharing the ups and downs of caring for her grandmother who has dementia, offering a glimpse into the love and dedication that comes with this journey.
Yeah.
Chris, we're so grateful to have you here with us
really
today.
Are.
I'm clearly excited to be here too. Thank you guys for having me.
She's caring for Grandma at this moment. And so Grams is getting ready for lunch. And so we bear with us all because you know, as caregivers, as our listeners, you know that you're juggling. You're constantly juggling all kinds of things. So the time that you have with us is so precious. Thank you so much. And Noah, you get the first question.
All right, I'm going right into it. Chris, could you tell us a little bit about how your caregiving journey began with your grandma, and what led you to become her caregiver?
Yeah, so my grandma lived with my sister for a long time after a stroke. She wasn't really her caregiver. My grandma was very independent, but she did look after her, make sure everything was going well. And then when my grandma's dementia started to advance, we knew that she needed more help, and she actually moved in with my mother. And my mom took care of her for about 2 years. But my mom was getting older and had her own health issues, and it just got to be a little overwhelming and too much for her. So my mom placed my grandma into a facility. Luckily, she placed her in a facility in Chicago near me and my sister because we have the most family around that area. So I was able to go and visit my grandma daily. Really, I would go check in on her before work, after work, whenever I could. And then after a couple of months, I realized just like I am capable. I think I'm capable of taking care of my grandma. It was kind of serendipitous. My roommate's mom got sick and he moved out to take care of her. So I kind of had an extra bedroom, and it was just serendipitous the way it all happened. I asked my mom if she would be willing to let me be the caregiver. And she said, you know, what's the worst that can happen? We put her back in the nursing home. So here we are almost 8 years later.
Wow. And so how is your mom? Explain. We said that she was diagnosed with a dementia. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my grandma was diagnosed with dementia actually before any signs or symptoms. She had a stroke in 2007,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctor said, you know, we noticed some behavior in the brain. And we were like, well, this is the first that anything's happened. You know, the stroke was the first time. So it actually took a couple of years before we started to notice symptoms. It was about 2012 when my grandma was getting more and more forgetful. She was the cook of the family, the matriarch, and her food started to get a little off tasting, and she was burning stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just very unlike her. So that's when my sister started keeping an eye on her. But in 2014, my sister had a baby, and my grandma tried to feed the newborn soda. And my sister was like, this is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Real
Yeah,
signs,
so
real signs.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was, and here's the thing that I think is so cool, Chris, is that I've been doing this show now for about 12 years, along with Tina, and there was a time in that beginning where we started to learn that people were very quiet about their caregiving experiences. They kept it kind of to themselves. They were afraid to talk about it in public, and also with their employers. And so you come along and you're kind of breaking that glass ceiling, if you will, and saying, you know what, everybody, I want you to see how this works. And so you started to share this on TikTok under Life with Grams. When did you say, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, so I just noticed my grandma's mom had Alzheimer's as well, and it was very hush hush, almost like a shame around it. And I just knew that my grandma wouldn't want to be seen that way. She would want to be seen as herself, as Mary. You know, she's a person living with dementia, but she wouldn't want dementia to be all consuming. So I just wanted to find an outlet for myself as a young millennial caregiver. And, you know, we gravitate towards social media.
Yeah.
My grandma's always been kind of a fun personality and always loved, you know, the cameras and the lights and the pictures and stuff. So we really just started together in 2017 on Instagram, posting pictures of our daily life and just like how it went. And then the caregiver community kind of came to me. People were like, oh, it's so nice you're doing this for your grandma. My mom has dementia. It's so hard to get her out of the house. Like, how do you do these things? And it really became like a safe space for me and for other people to kind of connect and share our stories and share how tough it is. And it did only get harder, you know, in those earlier stages. My grandma still presented so much as herself. So it was hard for me, a 29-year-old, to be like, my grandma's not sick. You know, like I couldn't put it in my head. And then as she progressed, that social media community really swooped me up and kind of saved me. I really feel like I wouldn't be here or the caregiver I am today without all the knowledge and everything that other people have shared with me.
That's awesome. That's an awesome
It
story.
really is. And
Yeah.
we're so thankful that you shared, you have been sharing your journey on TikTok. I really love the sentiment you shared of the person is not the diagnosis. You know, just because somebody has dementia or any kind of life altering diagnosis, they're still a person. They're not, you know, completely consumed by this diagnosis. There's still a personality and interests and dislikes and everything. So I think it's so important that your videos often highlight both the challenges and the beautiful moments. How do you decide what to share with your audience and what's most important for you to convey?
I'm more of the happy rainbows kind of girl. So I feel like dementia has such a tragedy narrative already. If you're dealing with it, you know the struggles, you know the heartache. So me and my grandma are blessed to love each other and have such a strong bond that I really try to highlight that and show people, look, my grandma was diagnosed in 2007. We're in 2024 and we're still doing it. And, I really just, that person-centered care is what I want to highlight and show people that if you don't give up, if the family members don't give up and they learn about this disease, they can help their loved one have a little bit better of a life.
Wow. What's been the most surprising lesson that you've learned about yourself? Because we hear oftentimes about how caregivers grow and what they learn about themselves and strength and courage. But what have you learned about yourself since taking on this role?
That I am capable of anything.
Yeah.
Before I was my grandma's caregiver, I was young and kind of just living life and flying by and didn't really have a purpose or a care. I was just kind of getting by. And this really made me slow down and realize the importance of living and loving. And I have found my purpose in speaking to people and communicating about this disease and advocacy. And I just really, it's changed me for the better. I am now almost 4 years sober from alcohol, and I just have found so many positives in slowing down and appreciating the time that we have today.
Wow.
That is so incredible to
It
hear.
is incredible to hear. I know we just have about a minute, Noah.
I do have another question for you just before we take this break. I can hear a lot in your voice, and obviously watching your videos that
Amazing.
you and your grandma love each other so much. Have there been any particular moments or milestones in your journey that have made you feel especially connected to your grandma?
My grandma still shows up for me. It's really a care partnership. She can tell when I'm sad, when I'm not feeling well. Emotions are big. Communication and language is only one part, but energy is huge. And me and my grandma have that connected bond where, it's a miracle. Really, when I'm not feeling well, it's almost like she picks up the slack for me, and we just are so connected that way. And it's a beautiful bond.
Chris, I don't want you to go anywhere if you can, but if you can't, that's okay. If you need to take care of grandma while we're into a break, do that. But we'd love to spend a little more time with you if you can. Can you stick around?
Definitely.
I love it.
Yeah, of course.
Chris with Life with Grams, that account on TikTok and Instagram too. Are you still there too, Chris?
Yep, we're still over there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, go ahead, Noah. Thanks for sticking around. Go ahead.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus, Joyce House provides exceptional day services for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joyce House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joycehouse.org today. All right, stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Hello again. Thank you all so much for sticking around with us. I don't know why if you left. I don't know why you did, because we really have one of my favorite guests that we've ever had on this show. And she has an account, a TikTok account. Her name is Chris. The account is Lifewithgrams. And she's she's actually just letting us all follow along with her journey of caring for grandma. And thanks, Chris, for sticking around with us, because it's lunchtime and grandma's hungry. What has your grandma surprised you in her own strength or humor during this time? Or how, I guess the question is how has, because she has, but how, explain to us.
Oh my goodness, her zest for life, her willingness to live is so inspiring, and that's the grandma I've known my whole life.
Oh,
I suffered with depression as a teenager, and she was always the one lifting me up and showing me, the joys of every day. And I'm really thankful that even with such a devastating diagnosis of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, that she still finds ways to have that light. I see it in her eyes sometimes, and just the small moments of joy that she finds throughout the day is really inspiring. And I'm glad that that's still held on to her.
me too.
Those small moments of joy, it's just so incredibly important. Is there a favorite story or memory of joy that you and your grandma revisit often that brings you both comfort?
Oh, it's so hard because I've spent every day with her for the last 8 years. And even before that, I mean, my grandma was the biggest part of my life. I always said that, she was kind of like my mom, and my mom was like my dad because that's how we grew up. I didn't have a father. And so my grandma just was like the strongest matriarch. And she was always so silly and goofy. And I still see that. She, when I'm feeling down or sad, she does still try to make me laugh. And we just share so much love and laughter together that I can't really think of one moment. I'm just very lucky to have such a strong woman in my life.
We were talking about her diagnosis that came along pretty good long ago, and of a dementia. And for those of you that are just tuning in that may not, I didn't mention that her grandma has dementia. And so, how, as far as her memory goes right now, since that diagnosis, how's she doing?
Well, she is in the late stages now of Alzheimer's disease. She's been on hospice since February, but she's still going. I mean, she's still eating and drinking and moving, and she's almost fully nonverbal. But the other day, just a few days ago, we were eating normally. We normally eat with some music in the background, and she grabbed my hand and she said, "I'm so proud of you."
Oh,
And I just lost it. That's posted on
wow.
TikTok for everyone
I
to
did
see.
see
But
that one
Yeah,
earlier
yeah,
today.
yeah.
Had a little tear come out of
Oh my
my eye.
gosh.
That's
That's
so
everything. You
beautiful.
know what? That's
Yeah,
everything. That just confirms
yeah.
you're in the right place. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now.
for the person that needs it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right where you're supposed to
Yeah.
be. I think that's just confirmation when those little moments happen and the words come out of her mouth that say, "I'm so proud of you." Oh my gosh, she's there. She's there.
Yes.
I
I
love it.
think that's a big thing too, that people with dementia are still there. I
Hmm.
know it's hard sometimes to see, but if you nurture the person that they've always been, they can show who they are. It's when we forget who they are and we focus on the dementia that sometimes that light gets dimmed.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's really important to keep the person first.
Yeah. You mentioned focus. I know there are good days and I know there are bad days, but when you're just overwhelmed, which is completely normal, what's something specific that you do to kind of reset or refocus that might help others that are listening?
Yeah, so I'm a full-time caregiver. I don't get many breaks. So I try to wake up before my grandma and I go to bed after my grandma. I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of things for myself. And in those moments when I'm caregiving and I can't walk away from her, breathing. It
Yeah.
sounds
Hmm.
so simple, but we forget to do it. But breathing can really reset. Also, turning on music that I like. I know a lot of times they're like, you have to listen to music from the old days for people with dementia. No, music is music.
Mhm.
And if I need a moment to like shake it off and dance, I'm going to put what I want on for a moment. And I need to be a person too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, throughout the day, I'll just do little things for myself that nurture who I am also, so I don't get completely lost in the caregiver
Yeah.
role.
Hmm.
Don't think I didn't notice that you're a Swiftie. When she says to shake it off, shake it off and listen to some music. I think she's a Swiftie. Uh, go ahead, Noah.
What other advice would you give to maybe new caregivers who are feeling uncertain or unsure about their journey that lies ahead?
Yeah, I definitely would say that build your community. I couldn't do this without my friends and people that I've connected with. You need to find that support. It is vital. Building your community and reaching out to support groups and learning everything you can about your loved one's diagnosis can make it helpful in the end. But really, I think I failed myself by not building a community sooner. I was very much, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And now here we are 8 years in, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, I should have had some more help.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
definitely find the people that you trust. Even if you don't have the funds, find a friend that you can teach or show how to care for your loved one. Find people that you trust.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Chris, when you started 8 years ago, I don't know that there was that support you were looking for, as prevalent as it is today. And I think that's what social media has been great for. And you're one of those people that are saying, "Hey, it's okay. Come, we need more support." And you're one of those people that are making that happen. That caregivers now feel like they have support, whether they actually know a person next door, or they're talking to them online and so through social media. You're one of those people, because when you were looking, I bet there wasn't as many as you find today.
I was going to say there wasn't, and we have really built a community. I have a lot of social media influencer caregiver friends that we started years ago, just building each other up. And yeah, we are kind of now the social media faces of caregiving, and it's really a beautiful thing.
It is so absolutely a beautiful thing. And I love that you're talking about the importance of community too, because, just today when I was scrolling through these comments on your TikToks, I can see that these caregivers are connecting and having their questions about their loved ones answered by, other people who are going through the journey. This is just in one video. I mean, it's so important.
Yep.
And we do have to go, but I've got one more question for you. Looking ahead, what's one thing you want other caregivers to take away from your story?
I want other caregivers to know that this is a chapter of your life. Life continues. It was before and it was after, and you're still a person. So don't forget that. It could be a year's worth of caregiving time. It could be 20 years of caregiving time, but you're still a person. So nurture who you are and always show up with love.
Oh my gosh, you are one of our guests that we will never forget, and we hope you'll come back and see us, Chris. Follow her, Chris, Lifewithgrams, and you'll find her on TikTok and also on Instagram, and you are a gem. Thank you so much for giving us your time today. Our best to you and to Grandma, and you are loved by many.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With locations in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus, Joyce House provides exceptional day services for individuals living with a life-altering diagnosis and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. At Joyce House, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joycehouse.org today. That web address again is joycehouse.org. All right, stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Hello again. Thank you all so much for sticking around with us. I'm Terry Stacy, along with
Noah Taylor.
If you're just tuning in, we've missed you. Tina's not with us. She's out of the studio today. But we're thinking about her and wishing you all a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we're going to talk about caregiving during the holidays because Noah has brought this to our attention to remind everybody that Thanksgiving can truly be overwhelming for you if you're a caregiver, even while others are focusing on celebration and gratitude. We call this the most wonderful time of the year, but for many it's not. And there's a commercial that runs, Noah. It's a Kroger commercial. Every year the Kroger commercials make me get a little weepy. And this again is about an elderly woman neighborhood.
Mhm.
Elderly woman. She's in this neighborhood, and her window, you can see, and you look inside. A little boy looks inside, and he sees an elderly woman, and she's sitting there in the dark, and she's alone. And so he goes back home across the street, little kid, and this is all in cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
And runs across the street, gets a plate of cookies, brings him over, hands her a cookie, and the parents catch him and realize it. And so they have a whole Thanksgiving feast that they're all at the door standing at her
that's so
home.
Cute.
And so to let her know, you don't have to be alone. We're right here.
We're a community.
Because it can be a really lonely
Oh
time,
my
especially
gosh,
during
absolutely.
the holidays for some. But it's important to recognize the unique challenges that caregivers face
I
during
think
this
so
time too.
Yeah, and honestly, Thanksgiving can be overwhelming for anybody, really. I mean, even for
Absolutely.
myself,
Absolutely.
and like having to spend time with your in-laws and all those type of people.
It can be a very stressful time, no
definitely
doubt,
stressful.
for more of us than not, for
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
But anyway, you've got some simple ways to help showing appreciation.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of simple things that we can do to show appreciation for our loved ones, but especially for caregivers. One of those ways is to write a heartfelt note or a card, something handwritten, just to let your loved one know that you're really looking out for them.
Yeah.
You really care about
Something
them.
about a
and you're
handwritten note is so special.
so special. The other one we have here is offer a small gift, like a meal delivery or their favorite treat on Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
and then give them a little time off by offering to sit with their loved one. You know, caregivers are doing a lot during Thanksgiving, so maybe give them that little opportunity to
Yeah,
have a second to breathe and be by themselves.
that's great. Great. Those are great tips. Anything else?
Yeah, I got
Please.
a lot of other stuff
Well,
here
go
for
ahead.
caregivers. I got some ideas. You know, if a caregiver can't join your celebration because they're caring for their loved one, there are some things that you can do for your family member or friend as well. So maybe bring the celebration to them if they can't get out of the house.
Just like the Kroger commercial.
Yes, bring the celebration right to their front door. Bring them a plate of cookies.
Yeah, take them a feast. Take them some food,
Deli-
and deliver. Yes, but also if they don't mind, kind of sit with them for
Sit
a
with
minute.
them and see
Yeah,
what they're thankful for.
right.
Yeah. Maybe even, now that we have gone through COVID and have all these virtual opportunities for people to meet, maybe why not utilize one of those, Zoom meeting or, Thanksgiving over FaceTime,
Yeah,
or even send a thoughtful message just to remind them that they're part of your holiday.
yeah,
They're part of your Thanksgiving too.
it's really good. Really good.
And I know that food makes a huge impact on me. I know that food is very, very important, especially to me.
Yeah.
And I know that caregivers, obviously, a ready-made meal, gift card for takeout, or something homemade.
Yeah,
Something homemade.
something homemade.
can be
It's always
amazing.
that's a priceless gift. I
Yeah.
think so too. I do want to mention before we get out of here that, and we've talked about this over the years, that for a lot of you, you're going to be going home and seeing mom and dad or grandpa, or maybe seeing your grandparents for the first time in a while. And you probably are the best ones to actually notice if something has changed. Because those that are actually with them, maybe your siblings or somebody, that are with them every day, may not notice when there are changes that you should just be aware of. And that could be as simple as the house looks more like it's a little more in disarray than normal, than what you've normally seen. And again, this isn't anything to alarm you. It's just something to take notice. If it's something else, if it's you notice maybe that the medicines that they take, maybe they're more full, or there's something strange about those medicines. But there are several things you can look out for, and just changes too in their memory. Things that just look different to you than you've seen in the last 6 months or however long it's been. But you're going to be the best judge of that. And as your parents age, it's just this is one of
part
the
of life.
jobs for you now, is to pay attention if there is something a little bit different. So I thought we'd just remind you all about that again, and just to be on the lookout.
Yeah, it's absolutely very important to be aware of
All right.
over the holidays
Yep,
for your
okay.
loved ones.
Yep.
Just because food is important doesn't mean that emotional support is not helpful as well.
You're absolutely right.
Especially on Thanksgiving. Check in with your loved one and see how they're doing. Along with that plate of cookies or that big tub of mashed potatoes that you're going to bring, sit down with them for a second and see what's going on in their life, how you can help them, what's going on with their loved ones that they want to talk about. Just be a good listener and then let them know that they're not alone. And to reiterate that you're thankful for them as well. And then, the other thing that's really important is caregiving is caregiving is a year-round responsibility,
is.
pardon me. So use this time to commit to supporting them constantly. Just because it's Thanksgiving, doesn't mean that this is the one time during the year that you should be reaching out.
Yeah.
It's a constant job, caregiving is. And, those people can really use your support constantly.
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Yeah.
We've had some really great people that I have met over the last few weeks that I know that you're listening and you've come up to say, I'm listening to the show and I'm grateful for it. And listen, we are here for you all the time. Tina, Noah, and myself. And please don't hesitate to reach out at any point if you need any kind of support as a caregiver. It's okay. It's okay to do that because that's what everybody's here for. So if you need us to, Noah, can you throw out a Tina's email?
Tina@joycehouse.org.
Thank you.
Please reach out to Tina. Go to joycehouse.org. Fill out our contact sheet and just come talk to us. See if there's anything that we can help you with.
Yep, care kits.
Yes.
We'll talk more about care kits, but we haven't talked about those in a while, and Joyce House is happy to get you a care kit. All right.
And remember, every little bit counts, and caregivers deserve our gratitude and support, not just during the holidays, but all year long. Happy Thanksgiving! All right, as we close the show, we'd just like to remind our listeners that they can contact us for more information and resources to help you through the journey of caregiving at 317-254-0828, or you can reach Tina at tina@joycehouse.org. Caregiver Crossing is supported by Cardon & Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Until next time, take good care of each other.